and welcome. I've been waiting for more gravel to arrive, and it just arrived today. And I'm going to pot up some of my succulent that's been sitting around. Let's see which one makes a good match. I was sort of thinking that I'll put this one in this one. I think this is called a white angel. It has a fairly long stem, so I think I'm going to put this one in here. And I wish I could remember the name of this. I think it was Art Pink, maybe in here, or maybe in here. Okay, I think I like it in this one. So I think I showed you guys these pots before, and I wiped off the glaze too much, so it didn't sit in these grooves. But technically I wanted it to be dark, have these little divots, be the same brown glaze, but didn't quite work out that way. That's okay. I think color-wise, I think it makes a good match. It's a little dark in here, so it might be hard to see, but I will pot these two up today. And let's do the white angel. Let's do this one first. I really like how this pot came out. So let's go. Oh, I should probably lay something down. It's going to be a fairly easy potting because no roots, just a tall stem. So I can just really poke it in. And it's going to be a fairly easy potting process. Let's see which one. Maybe on this side. Oh, the stem is a lot longer than anticipated. Every touch is rubbing off the farina, so we wanna be careful with that. Because as you know, the farina, once it's rubbed off, it does not come back until you get a new leaf. So, I mean, it's sort of inevitable. Some people are bothered by it, others are not. I'm sort of half and half. It's kind of like sometimes you just can't help it, so yeah, it's just you gotta do what you can do. So this pot is probably, I wouldn't say it's too small, but it could probably be a little bit bigger so that I don't have to then make this mess and try to get in between the pot and the succulent, get the soil in there. If I had a bigger pot, then it would be much easier to do so, much easier to pot. Then I don't have to try to get in between the leaf and the edge of the pot. I like my succulents to be sitting in a pot that's very close to the size of the actual succulent because, one, just looking at the succulent, it's already colored up. It's not a baby succulent for sure, but once it starts settling in here and once it starts growing new roots, I'm sure it's gonna put out more leaves, and it might potentially get bigger. And I mean, is it my goal to make it get bigger? Yes and no. I want my succulents to grow, obviously, but I don't necessarily want it to get too big. And not to mention, not all of these succulents will get extra large like some of the ones I have in here. And of course, I'm making a mess. I mean, it is all personal preference. Some people want to grow their succulents. If you want your succulents to grow a lot bigger, then you should be potting in a bigger pot. For me, space is very limited in here, so I like to have my succulents be on the smaller side for sure. And the succulent size will depend on how big of a pot you plant it in, how much space it has to grow into. And don't get me wrong, they will outgrow the pot if they are the type to get big, and if the environment is right and the conditions are right, and if you've potted it with enough nutrients and whatnot, it will grow, whether you like it or not, and it will outgrow the pot. But it also, I think it all depends on each succulent, if you ask me. Some succulents, if you look up their information, they will tell you how big they can get up to. A lot of these succulents do grow quite large if given a chance. So it really depends on your preference. And I don't want them to shrink down too much, as I have succulents that have shrunk down quite a bit. But then again, I have other succulents that have outgrown their pot and have moved them up many times, and they continue to grow until it comes to a point where it ends up having some sort of issue. Then you run into when you run into problems, then it might shrink down its size. But other than that, most of my succulents do pretty well, and they do get quite big. But in order to control that to a certain degree, I like to pot them in small pots. Easy for me to hold on to, easy for me to handle, and just pretty to look at, which is what I like. Okay, let's see. Let's move on to the next one. I'll put this aside. I really enjoy this time where I get to sit in my plant room and pot up my succulents. I think it's one of the most relaxing, enjoyable time for me. Just checking out the roots. This one is dangling. And this is going to drop anyway, so I'm just going to pull it off. And did I mention that I think it's art pink? Pretty sure it's art pink. I hope it's not pink art. It could be pink art. But yeah, this is an easy. I mean, you can't even call this potting really, because you're really literally just placing it on top. I'm actually going to put some a little bit more, because make a little mountain over here, and then I'm going to place it on top. Make sure it's centered. Very quiet potting time here. Not much talking. It's not super late, but it is late. And once the sun goes down, I feel like in the burbs, it's just so quiet. It just feels like it's really late, and it's really not. It's not even 7 o'clock yet, as my grow lights will turn off around 7:15, 7:30 ish. I think that's how most of my grow lights are set to turn off. Okay, there it goes. I don't know if you guys noticed, the room just got even darker. It's because my grow light just shut off on the opposite side of this room. Alright. That was fairly easy. I hope this video doesn't end up being too dark. But I just couldn't wait until I potted these. The sooner I pot them, the sooner they will put out new roots and establish in here. And I really like how the pots came out this time. Hands down, this natural look is just my all-time favorite. It might get a little boring for you guys because it's the same pot over and over again, but by no means, I'm not any kind of designer, so this is really the best that I can do. And it's really, really specific to my taste and what I like, so bear with me, guys, until I feel like getting into some sort of creative mode. So let's see. Here we go. Maybe this side was a better lighting. Well, the grow lights are on mostly on this side, so that might be better lighting. Okay, so what do you think? So on the left side, I think it's White Angel. Art pink or not. But yeah, that's how they look right now. And I'm really happy about these pots and these new succulents that I just potted. Hopefully they'll settle in quickly in here, and I hope to see them grow. Alrighty, that's it for today. Bye now.